Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast Grow with Vibrant Rainbow Gardens. If this is your first time here, I'm really glad you found your way to this episode. I want to start by talking to you if you've ever tried to learn about growing your own vegetables or anything gardening related. Somehow ended up feeling more confused than when you started. You read one article, then another, then you watch a video, then someone in the comments say the exact opposite. And then suddenly you're thinking, why does this feel so complicated? Am I missing something? Does everyone else understand this except me? If that sounds familiar, take a breath. This episode is for you. Here's what I want you to know right away. Feeling confused about growing food is not a personal failure. It's actually one of the most common experiences for beginners. Gardening of any kind, including houseplants. Gardening advice is everywhere. Blogs, reels, YouTube, podcast, social media, well-meaning friends. And most of it assumes you already know things you haven't been taught yet. So, you're trying to piece together advice that was meant for a different climate, meant for someone with more experience, meant for a completely different kind of a garden. Instead of a clarity, you end up with overload, mental overload. At some point, many beginners quietly think, maybe gardening just isn't for me. But that conclusion is based on confusion, not truth. The myth I want to gently release you from today is this. I should already understand this by now. That belief sneaks in when advice contradicts itself. The rules change depending on who you ask. Everyone online sounds confident and certain. So your brain fills in the gap by blaming you. But here's the truth. Gardening confusion isn't a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're getting advice that was not designed for where and who you are. Most gardening advice isn't actually wrong. It's just missing context. Gardening depends on climate, timing, experience level, size, goals. When those things aren't explained, advice becomes overwhelming. For example, water deeply. But how deep? How often? Plant in spring. Whose spring? This is so easy to grow. Easy for who? Beginners do not need more information. They need information in the right order. Sequence matters. Context matters. Guidance matters. Let's take a very simple beginner question. How often should I water my garden? You might actually hear the following answers. Every day, once a week, only when it looks dry. Never on a schedule. Always on a schedule. It depends. Well, all of those answers might be true. In certain situations, none of them will help you unless someone explains why. Without that context, your brain does not know what to do. It freezes. That's not a motivation problem. That's an information design problem. Here's the unlock I want you to offer you today. Confusion is a signal, not a stop sign. It's a sign that you're ready for clarity, not that if you failed. When gardening advice starts making sense, it's usually not because you suddenly became smarter or more disciplined. It's because someone actually slowed things down and explained the why and showed you what matters first. Once that happens, growing food, gardening stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling learnable. This is exactly why beginner specific guidance matters. Not more tips, not more opinions, but clearer sequencing, gentler explanations, support that meets you where you are. You don't need to try harder. You need clarity. And clarity is something you're allowed to receive. Before you go, I have one small ask. And it actually has nothing to do with algorithms or downloads. If this episode made you think of one person, a friend, a neighbor, a fellow parent, or someone who's always said, I want to grow a garden, I want to grow my own vegetables and fruits, I just don't know where to start, would you share this episode with them? This podcast grows almost entirely through word of mouth, and every share helps someone realize that gardening doesn't have to be complicated or overwhelming. It can be gentle, it can fit real life, it can start right where they are. And if you're listening and wondering what kind of gardener you are, or what your next best step actually is, I created a free quiz to help with that. It's called the Growzona Quiz, and it helps you figure out your gardening style, your biggest challenges, and what will actually work for your season of life. Whether you're a total beginner or just need clarity. You can take it at vibrantrainbowgardens.com/quiz, and I will send you personalized guidance right after. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for helping this little garden of a podcast grow. I'll see you in the next episode.